All right, what is going on, everybody? We got some Tuesday night games to preview. We have Lakers at Dallas. We have Boston in Denver. We're going to cover some Wednesday games too. We got a full 2 nights of primetime basketball on TNT and ESPN. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment them down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. Anyways, let's hop right into it. Um, might be a shorter video here. Just gonna roll through some of these games, preview them, talk about the teams, and etc. etc. We've done this all before. Let's just get right into it. Um, Lakers at Dallas. Um, we do have a bunch of people for both teams on the injury list. Some of these people are out. Some of them are questionable slash day to day. Gabe Vincent is out. Christian Wood out. This is for the Lakers. Jalen Hood-Schifino out. Jared Vanderbilt been out. Davis and James are both day to day. I assume they're going to play. My hunch is that they're going to play. Reddish is also day to day. Day to day, I should say. Um, I say LeBron and AD should play because they cannot afford to give up these games because they got to fight for these spots, man. Um, their last five, they lost to Cleveland. They won against Portland. They won against Atlanta. Those are all home games. They traveled over to Houston and they lost to Houston 119 to 115. Um, so yeah, they were on a pretty bad streak towards the end of last month. I should say last year even. Middle to end of last month, and they've picked it up a little bit here. 3 wins here, 2 wins here, 2 wins there, sprinkling some losses. But um, the next part of their schedule should be relatively simple. It's Dallas tonight. Then it's this is a long homestand. You got Charlotte, San Antonio, Miami, Brooklyn. I think LeBron or AD or both of them should play this Dallas game because this is an easy game to win. Um, these next couple are pretty easy as well, but I think um I think they both should play. I think it's important for both of them to play just to get more of a buffer. They are 20 and 15 on the season right now. Anthony Davis is leading them in points with 26, in rebounds with 11, almost 12, steals and blocks, stocks. Anthony Davis with 1 steal and almost over 2 blocks. And LeBron James is leading them assists with 8.9. Um, moving on to the Mavericks, because there is some stuff with them going on. They do have both Kyrie and uh, Kyrie Irving out. It was reported yesterday that Kyrie has a, a disc bulging in his back, which sounds terrible. Um, as somebody who has had issues with their back from time to time, I can't even imagine what a bulging disc feels like. That must. I don't know if it's painful or if it's just sticking out. I don't know. That's all Shams Charania has said. Um, so yeah. So they got Gafford out. They got Luke out. They got Dante Exum out, and Kyrie's a late game scratch from yesterday. So he's definitely not gonna play tonight. Um, this is the return game for Dorian Finney-Smith, I believe. Um, in Dallas. So that's something to watch as well. I'm not saying Dorian Finney-Smith is going to have a blowout game, like a breakout game for the Lakers against his old team, but I think I can say confidently that if the Lakers lose this one, that's going to be embarrassing. But I think I have some faith in the Lakers to take down a very injured Dallas team in Dallas, to keep to keep them above 500. You know, because if you keep slipping below 500, they're about 5 games above 500 right now. But if they keep slipping below it, keep going back and forth and back and forth, you're gonna look back on these easy games. And I said this in a previous video as well, where you're gonna look back on these games December, January, February. We're like, damn, we should have won that one. So yeah, I got the Lakers tonight at Dallas, um, and then we move on to Boston in Denver. This is the West Coast road trip that every um, Boston fan has been waiting for, to see what their team is really made of and if they can go back to back. Um, I have had my reservations, my res- is that how you say it? Reservations? I've had my problems with the Denver Nuggets this year. The Denver Nuggets haven't wowed me at any point besides Nikola Jokic. Um, for for a bunch of reasons, but nevertheless, you can look at the injury report for both these teams before we do anything, because I think that's important to peek at any injuries both teams might have. The Nuggets have Aaron Gordon out. He will not play against the Celtics. If I can find Boston here, Boston. This ESPN injury report freaking sucks sometimes, because I feel like I scroll past the team like 5 times before I can find it. Well, that's why I can't find it, because apparently they have nobody injured. So, um, Jaylen Brown must be back or something, or I don't know. So, we're gonna go into this a little blind because ESPN has not updated that. Um, Nevertheless, let's push on. Let's look at some Celtic stats here, um, on the year. Jason Tatum is leading them in points, rebounds, assists. Jaylen Brown is leading them in steals, and Derek White is leading them in blocks. That's a crazy stat that Derek White is leading them in blocks. That's a crazy stat. Um, that being said, um, let's look at what the Nuggets have been doing. I think Nikola Jokic has been going on a run recently. He's been having some great games. Let's look at their schedule here. See what they have been doing. Um, yes. Oh yes, I saw people talking about this. So they played San Antonio on the 3rd of this month, right? In At home in Denver. And then they flew all the way to San Antonio to play the Spurs again, just at their place. And they won that game. That was an overtime game. Nikola Jokic dropped 46. And then on the 3rd, when they were at Ball Arena, I believe, in Denver, um, Jokic had 21. Oh yeah, Jokic has been on a run since like the 22nd of like December. He's at 27, 32, 25, 27, 37, 36, 23, 41, and 46. Golly. Yeah. I don't I have my problems with this team. And they've won most of these games. A lot of these games, well, I'm looking at it right now. They've won almost every game Jokic has scored 30 plus. The only game they lost was the one where they played it, the first one against San Antonio, dropped 41, and they lost. The other times you know Jokic has 30 plus, they've won. Um, what's today's date? Today's the 7th. Damn, so they haven't played in a minute. They haven't played in 2 days. Okay, so the um the Nuggets are rested. They haven't played in a few days. Um, and the Celtics are away from home. I believe they just played. Who did they just play? They just played OKC and they lost 105-92. On this West Coast road trip, that's the only game they've lost. They won against Houston and they won against Minnesota. Um, what are they on the season? They're 26-10 on the season. Huh. I'm gonna give the edge to Denver. I'm gonna give the edge to Denver. I like Denver tonight. I don't like that Nikola Jokic is probably gonna have to drop like 30 plus again for them to win, but I I I don't see unless they really just throw doubles at Jokic, which this team likes to do. They like to throw doubles at other team star players. They did it to Anthony Edwards. They won the game that way. Um, yeah, I'm only saying that to say that Jokic, unless they really hard double Jokic in that situation and force anybody else to beat them, like if Jamal Murray has 30 or Michael Porter has 30, I'm not convinced that the Celtics can win. You know, but I'll give it to the Nuggets tonight. So for Tuesday night, um I have the Lakers and the Nuggets winning tonight. And then if you follow me this direction, we will move on to Wednesday night here. Um, Wednesday night. OKC versus Cleveland and San Antonio versus Milwaukee. Um, let's just preview that too. Why not? Why not? Why not? First things first. Again, injury report. Cleveland. Um, doesn't look like anybody too important's out. I mean, Sam Morrill's out for him. Isaac Okoro is out for them. And then if we move down here, we have to look at the Thunder. I'm not too sure if they have anybody up besides Chet. I think Chet's the only scratch for them at the moment. Let me look. Let me look. Axe, axe that. Alex Crusoe is out for them. I forgot about that. Um, he's been, yeah, he's been out. Yeah, yeah. So Chet and him are out. Um, let's look into some stats. The Cavs have been there. I read a stat yesterday. The Cavs are on pace to have like equally as good or like somewhat near the ballpark of like the 73-9 Warriors and like the Bulls that were like what was that that I said yeah, somewhere around there, yeah, somewhere around that ballpark of 73 or 72-10 or something like that, which is crazy. Um, they got Donovan Mitchell leading them in points. They got Jared Allen leading them in rebounds. Uh, Damn, Darius Garland's only averaging 6.6 assists, and that's the team leader in assists. I don't know if that's good or bad. Um, Donovan steals and Evan Mobley blocks. Um, let's see what they've been doing. What they've been doing recently. I don't know. I don't know what they've been doing. I feel like they're just not talked about enough. They're not being taken seriously enough. Damn. So yeah, they've won against Washington at home, Brooklyn in Brooklyn, Milwaukee at home, Philly at home, Jazz at home. They won in Denver. They won against Golden State in San Francisco. They won against the Lakers in LA. They won against Dallas in Dallas. They won against Charlotte in Charlotte. And now that's all in a row. That's all in a row, by the way. Just want that to be clear. And they've won them by some pretty good margins. These are all like 10 plus point margin wins. And then they play OKC Wednesday night. That's a crazy streak to go on. So they just lost to Miami. That's the last game they lost, and that was at the beginning of last month of December. So yeah, this is gonna be a good test for them. And then we take a look at OKC here. We're gonna see what they've been up to. What has OKC been up to recently? Let's take a peek. Shea, the MVP favorite. Um, I'm not sure if that's true. I think he's the favorite. I think people throw Jokic in there because of what he's been doing. I think Shea should have it. Nevertheless, he's leading the OKC Thunder in points with 31. J Dub leading them in rebounds 5.8. That's crazy. For a forward slash guard to be leading them in rebounding. I don't know what that says about their big men depth, but um, Shea's leading them in assists with 6. Shea's leading them in steals with 2 and blocks with 1. Yeah, and they've put together quite the season recently. Quite the season, man. It's a crazy thing to see how good OKC is these days. Um, after just good draft pick after good draft pick and all that stuff. And they're on a win streak of their own. These are two really big win streaks going at each other. The last game they lost was against Milwaukee, and then they won against the Magic in Orlando. They won against the Heat in Miami. They were home against Washington and won. They were in Indiana and they beat the Pacers. They were in Charlotte. They beat the Hornets. They're at home for these next few games. Memphis, a win against Timberwolves, a win against the Clippers, a win against the Knicks, a win against Boston, a win. So somebody's got to lose tonight. Somebody's got to lose tomorrow night. Pardon me. Somebody's got to lose tomorrow night. Somebody's got to lose. These are two huge win streaks going at each other. Wow. Um, oh man, I think I I feel like Cleveland's gonna take this game a little more seriously. I feel like if they win this game, people are gonna look and be like, oh, they just beat the best in the West. You know, that's a very like, how do you call it, surface level take, but I think you beat the big dogs out west. That means something, you know. That really does mean something. Um, so give me Cleveland. I feel like every time I say Shea and the Thunder are gonna win, Shea puts up like a stinker. So I'm off that for now. Um, Next game, San Antonio Spurs in Milwaukee. Um, Victor Wembanyama versus Giannis Antetokounmpo. Um, Looking at some Spurs stats real quick. Points, Wemby's leading them. Rebounds, Wemby's leading them. Assists, Chris Paul is leading them. Steals, Chris Paul is leading them. And blocks, Victor Wembanyama is leading them. Um, they just play. They just played Denver, so and lost. That's a back, and they just played Chicago too and lost by 4 points. Um, Damn, and that OT loss to Denver, Harrison Barnes led them in points. That's crazy. Um, this might be an easy one for some people, including myself, to call. It's gotta be Milwaukee, right? Because Giannis is leading them in points, rebounds. Damian Lillard is leading them in assists and steals, and Brook Lopez is leading them in blocks. Giannis is averaging 31, and Damian Lillard is averaging 24. Um, Let me see here. I mean, the Spurs do have a more well-rounded roster with Victor Wembanyama at 25 points, Devin Vassell at 15, Jeremy Shohan at 13, Johnson at 12, Champagnie at 12, Harrison Barnes at 12, Castle at 10. Oh man. I feel like if anything, the Bucks have more bodies to throw at Wemby than the Spurs have more bodies to throw at Wembenyama. I think that's what's going to come down to. Now, say any combination of the guys I just listed have 20 plus points, and Wemby even has just 20, or even if Chris Paul pitches in with 20, I think the Spurs can win this. I think the Spurs can play. I just don't think. I don't think if Damian Lillard puts up a bad game, the Spurs win this game. Because I said this about the in-season tournament, and the Bucks proved me wrong. But like, if it's just Giannis doing it, it's gonna be such a close game that I think Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama can pull it out a little bit. But I expect Dame and Giannis to have a good game. I don't think this is a matchup favors the San Antonio Spurs. I'll give it to the Bucks in a close game. And those are our previews. I think that's the next tonight's games and tomorrow night's games. So um, yeah, that's it. If you like the video, consider subscribing. If you like what I have to say, like the video. If you have your own comments and opinions, comment them down below. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And we'll talk about the games that happened. See y'all then. Cheers.